Hello there guys, RMP792. I'm recording this at the same time I recorded my Discovery vlog, so if it looks kind of similar, that will be why. I was asked recently who should play the new Batman now that Ben Affleck has been confirmed to have moved on from the role. Given the lambasting that Batman v Superman and Justice League got, I kind of don't blame him. With that said, not his fault. Ben Affleck was honestly one of the better things about Batman v Superman. I mean, it was a bad film. It was a bad film from the script stage. It was a bad film because the director was just wrong for the project. But Affleck himself was fine. Again, I didn't like the idea of the whole, oh, we're going for an older Bruce Wayne thing, because that was always going to be limiting. But fundamentally, there was nothing wrong with him in the role. He did a good job with the material he had to work with. It's just the material he had to work with was pissing awful. So yeah. So the question is, who should now play Batman? The correct answer is nobody. Because at this point, I'm kind of sick of Batman. In particular, I'm very sick of Bruce Wayne. I mean, we've had so many films with Batman in, so many TV shows with Batman in, so many adaptations of Batman. Batman is overplayed, guys. Tone it back for a while. Make us, wait and actually want it. You are allowed to tease for a while. You don't have to rush to the climax. And yes, I did just use the metaphor you think I did. But yes, the problem is WB, well, whoever's in charge of WB, they're a bunch of complete goddamn morons. Because they're always chasing the hype rather than the reason that Marvel was so successful was they basically said, right, has anybody tried to do this before? Is it a bit crazy? Bollocks to it. And then they went off and did it. And granted, they did it in a very sensible corporate way, because let's face it, the way the Marvel movies have been structured, it kind of doesn't matter if one of them fails. If, for example, Thor hadn't been very good and nobody liked Thor, they could have trimmed back his part in the Avengers, he would have been a minor character, and he just wouldn't have got another movie, and the rest of the franchise would have trundled on. Or if, or again, nobody really liked Iron Man 2. Iron Man 2 wasn't very good. But Tony Stark was still a liked character. And so it was just, we keep going, we cocked up this one a bit, but, next film he's in, he's going to have a bunch of co-stars from the other movies. That'll buoy everything up. By the time the Avengers is done, everybody likes Tony Stark again. Iron Man 3 comes out, and I don't like Iron Man 3 very much. I think it's okay, but I think it's just not what I wanted from the film. And even so, I still like Tony Stark, and I still want him to turn up in more films. So that was, a incredibly. We often think of it as a very brave thing to attempt, but honestly, it was kind of inevitable that it would happen sooner or later, and Marvel just got there first. And all the other movie studios have been kind of chasing around trying to find their own version. Universal did, tried to do their Dark Universe with the Mummy movie, and the problem was they got so hung up on making a big, ridiculous, expanded universe that they forgot to actually make a good film that people wanted to see first. Because, let's face it, what were the Marvel connections in the original Iron Man? There was S.H.I.E.L.D., which, frankly, that's just a secret organization. That's just a federal organization that's in some way related to superheroes. That's a fairly minor point. And the other thing was Nick Fury turning up in a post-credits scene and saying, "So, Avengers." That was it. That was all that was in the original Iron Man. Other than that, it was just an individually focused, solid, enjoyable movie. It told its own story with a little bit of hinting and stuff on the periphery. Whereas Universal's Mummy film, stops halfway through for all that prodigium stuff. Was it prodigium? All that secret organisation stuff with Russell Crowe's Dr. Jekyll, and that just kills the pacing of the movie stone dead. So, and all of that, I guarantee, was put in because the studio was demanding that they had to have this big dark universe, and that's been canned now apparently completely, which is a pity because again, a cinematic universe focused around lots of famous movie monsters, that could be really fun. You've got individual monsters for them, and they're different people, and just all sorts of. Again, there's lots of cool, fun ideas you can do with that, and they bollocksed it up because they tried to rush to the climax too quickly. Foreplay is important, guys. And that was kind of the problem with the DC stuff. They went from Superman straight to Batman v Superman, and also featuring Wonder Woman. And then they tried to go straight from that to Justice League, with only the Wonder Woman film, which was a prequel, in there. And here's the thing. Do you want to know why Wonder Woman is the best of those films? Because it's not trying to be anything but a Wonder Woman film. And here's the thing. Man of Steel is not good. It's a lot better than Batman v Superman, because again, it's at least trying to just tell its own story without faffing on with all the other bollocks. So the problem with WB has been for a while that they've just been chasing the hype and going with what is popular. And Batman is popular. People like Batman. I like Batman. But again, the DC universe is massive and vast and huge and wondrous, and there are so many characters. Where's my goddamn Booster Gold movie? You could have so much fun with that. Sports star from the future steals advanced tech, travels back in time to try and be a hero, and sucks at it. That's a great movie. Green Lantern film. We've had one of those. It wasn't very good. How do you bollock this up? It's just a buddy cop movie in space. And it doesn't even really matter which Green Lantern you use. You team him up with, say, Kilowog, maybe a couple of the other, maybe Tom Array. A few of the other interesting alien Green Lanterns have some different perspectives, and hey, you've got your movie. It's just a buddy cop movie. I'm trying to think who else. Green Arrow, Robin Hood, in the present. Admittedly, you tried to. Oh god, that bloody Robin Hood movie. Anyway, but so yeah, WB is basically completely averse to taking risks. And as a result, they keep cocking everything up because they try so hard to play it safe that they end up just not doing anything good. Again, I maintain that the other reason that Wonder Woman's good, nobody at the studio thought it was going to make much money, so they mostly left it alone. I'm kind of worried that they're going to bollock up Wonder Woman 2 because because the first one was such a big success, they'll pass a whole crap ton of studio notes down. Again, I guarantee you that's why Aquaman's doing quite well. I haven't seen it yet, so I can't comment. But as I understand it, part of the reason Aquaman works is that it's completely insane because its director clearly had just a crazy-ass vision. And that just worked for it. And again, the studio heads obviously kept their hands off it because they figured, it's not going to make much money. Who gives a toss? Because again, the problem with all film studios is that they're not interested in making money. They're interested in making all of the money. If your project isn't going to haul down $2 billion at the box office, they don't care. And if it is, then they're going to meddle because they have to make it perfect and follow the focus groups and all that other corporate shite. Oh god, this crap annoys me. Anyway. But yes, so Batman is kind of overdone for now, which means the obvious prospect is you do what the DC animated universe did, and you do Batman Beyond. And again, that could be a really cool movie. I would really like to see a Batman Beyond movie. And the comment was, well, who do you then get to play old Bruce Wayne? And of course, immediately the comment was Michael Keaton. The original film Batman, to play old Bruce Wayne, mentoring young Terry McGinnis. And again, Terry McGinnis, you're casting with that. Cast an actual goddamn teenager, please. Like somebody who's 16, 17. I appreciate casting directors don't know what a teenager is. They're forever casting. Part of the reason I maintain I don't look like an adult is that I'm so used to people who are in their mid-20s, like I am, being cast as 15-year-olds. I don't feel like I look like an adult. I am, but I don't feel like it a lot of the time. And again, I'm blaming casting directors for that one. So yes, cast an actual 16-year-old to play Terry McGinnis. And yeah, for old Bruce Wayne, not Michael Keaton. Here's the thing. Michael Keaton is a fantastic actor. You know, he was really, really good as the villain in Spider-Man Homecoming. You know, he can do heartwarming, he can do intimidating. He's a really, really skilled, versatile actor. He was not very good as Batman. I'm just giving you a moment to finish yelling at me. You good? Okay. The problem with the Batman films, both of the ones with Michael Keaton in, is that Tim Burton didn't give a shit about Batman. Tim Burton was interested in the villains. Because fundamentally, Batman is the Joker's film. He's the one who gets the origin story, he's the one who gets the character development, he's the one whose master plan gets gone through with, and he's the one who dies at the end. Batman's only real character stuff in that movie is all directly related to the Joker, in that it turns out that the Joker is the one who killed his parents. And side note, I hate that twist. That twist is dumb. Didn't need to be there. Second film, Batman Returns, it's all about Penguin and Catwoman. And again, Batman's kind of an ancillary character in it. It's only through his relationship with Selina that he actually really does much in that film, apart from being the action sequences. To my mind, those films are not about Batman, they're about the villains, and Batman is the force of nature that's eventually going to stop them. In many ways, they're almost framed as tragic hero stories, where they have great, majestic plans, and they're eventually going to be stopped by this unstoppable force of nature that is Batman. So not Michael Keaton, not because he wouldn't be amazing at it, but because that intrinsically ties it to Tim Burton's Batman films. And frankly, I don't like the fact that he kills people in those either. Seriously, please stop having Batman kill people on screen. This is kind of an important part of his moral code, guys. He literally fights so that no child will ever go through what he did. It doesn't matter if they're criminals or not, he ain't going to kill them. And I'm including in that the bit in Batman Begins with Ra's al Ghul, where it's I'm not going to kill you, but I don't have to save you. No, you're killing a dude. I'm pretty sure that legally counts as manslaughter if you could save somebody and you choose not to. Or correct. I have no idea what the legalness of that is, but morally, yeah, it's wrong. I'm very comfortable saying that morally, I would judge the shit out of you for doing that. So if you're going to cast Bruce Wayne, you don't cast any of the previous Batman actors. Because let's face it, the best on-screen Batman is Adam West. Because I'm sick to bloody death of grim, dark Batman. I like Batman to be camp and silly. And yes, he can be a bit broody. But honestly, Adam West was kind of perfect. Because here's the thing. Everybody likes to point to grim, dark, broody, loner Batman as, oh yes, this is the best version of Batman, before they ruined it by adding in all the supporting cast and characters. You do know there was less than a year between the introduction of Batman and the introduction of Robin, right? I mean, let's face it, there's a reason why the Lego movie takes the piss out of this. Lego movie Batman is great. And the Lego Batman movie, that's great too, because again, it takes the piss out of the idea that he has to be this grim, dark, brooding on a rooftop, I am the night thing. You can do that while also being happy, Bruce. I'm sick of the grim, dark martyr narrative. And that's kind of the problem Batman has at the moment. Which is why Terry McGinnis is actually a more interesting character, because let's face it, he has his girlfriend, He's reasonably happy with her. And yes, it's the tragic death of his father that that pushes him into being Batman. But he's still got his mother. He's still got a loving home. It's less grief. It's the grief over his father's death that pushes him into initially being Batman. But he chooses to keep being Batman because people need him, not because of his psychological damage. Where Terry McGinnis is Batman because people need him to be. Bruce Wayne is Batman because he needs to be. And that's a very important and very interesting difference that you could really go into with the two incarnations of Batman. And yeah, so I honestly don't know who I would cast as old Bruce Wayne. You want a good actor, obviously. You want somebody. I think you need somebody who did a lot of action roles when they were younger, but has kind of shifted out of it now. Because again, you need someone who you can look at and believe, used to go out and kick the crap out of people, but has aged past the point where they can do that now. And I honestly don't know. I am not a casting director. I don't know who I would want for that, but I guarantee you there are a lot of really, really great actors out there, who would love the role, who could really play with it as an interesting character study. And again, you want to have some flashbacks to when Batman was younger. You can just use stunt doubles in the costume, and then when he needs to take off the mask, you've got the de-aging tech that's like 95% of the way there. It's still a bit creepy, but if we don't keep practicing with it, it's never going to get there. But yeah, so there's a lot of really good, really interesting potential there that I would love to see. But yeah. So yeah, Batman is kind of done for me. I want them to. Here's the thing. I want WB to just take a breather. Much as I really want a good Justice League film, we're not going to get it at the moment, and we need to accept that fact. What we need them to do is take a break, make some good individual movies. So Aquaman's doing quite well. Shazam's looking promising. I'm hoping Wonder Woman 2 or Wonder Woman 1984, I believe it's called. That'll hopefully be pretty good. And I don't think we know what's on the slate after that. But again, as I say, there's lots of cool, interesting movies they could do. So Booster Gold is kind of a slightly more comedic movie. Comedic movie. Green Lantern basically just being a buddy cop movie in space. Green Arrows as a kind of Robin Hood, fight from the steal from the rich, give to the poor kind of vibe. Which I appreciate is ironic given how loaded Oliver Queen is. And then just do small collaborations, like do a Green Arrow, Green Lantern crossover, where it's basically just what happened in those original comics, i.e., it's just two people, traveling across the Americas, fighting crime, being awesome, while debating the merits of left wing versus right wing politics. That's literally what they did in their original comic, and it was great. Because Hal Jordan is basically your old school. Because here's the thing: Ryan Reynolds was wrong to play Hal Jordan. He could have been a great Guy Gardner, i.e., he's a douchebag, and kind of everybody thinks he's annoying. Doesn't mean he's not a hero when he needs to be. Whereas of course. Hal Jordan was much more the old school, square jawed, would have been played by Charlton Heston back in the day, kind of vibe to him. And so yeah, you could do a lot of really, really fun and interesting stuff, and they're just kind of not. Again, we're getting a few more interesting projects now, which were clearly slated back when they were planning this big, ridiculous, expansive universe, and I'm hoping they actually just go, you know what, these movies are making money. They may not be making as much money as we were originally hoping for, but they're making money, and so we're going to keep doing them. We're going to keep doing some interesting some interesting projects, and maybe the ones that resonate with audiences, we can do some crossovers or something like that without trying to chase the Marvel coattails. But they're all idiots, so they're not going to do that. That's all I got.